Prepare to dive into the deep end of thought as we explore the riveting conversation between political commentator Candace Owen and Rabbi Barclay, renowned spiritual leader and scholar. This isn't your regular tete-a-tete, but an enthralling meeting of minds, where ideas are unshackled and intellect is ignited. We journey with them into a realm of thoughts that dares to question the mainstream, kindling a spark of intellectual curiosity that's hard to douse. The conversation starts with a bang, a thought-provoking question on a subject that has been the focal point of countless debates in recent times: the freedom of speech. The query isn't for the faint-hearted, but for those brave enough to confront the dichotomy of freedom and responsibility. Owens, known for her fearlessness, asks, how does one reconcile the freedom of speech with the potential for harmful consequences? Barclay, esteemed for his wisdom, takes the question head-on, providing an in-depth analysis that uncovers layers of complexity. He depicts how freedom of speech, though a cornerstone of a free society, is not without its limitations. It's a right that beckons accountability and mindfulness. He elucidates that while it allows us to express ourselves freely, it should never be used as a weapon to harm or slander. He explains that freedom of speech, while indeed a defining factor of a democratic society, calls for a nuanced understanding of the potential damage that misused freedom could inflict. Barclay calls for a balance, a blend of liberty with mindfulness, responsibility with rights. He imparts that the right to speak freely also comes with the duty to consider the impact of our words. Owens probes, how does one reconcile the freedom of speech with the potential for harmful consequences? Barclay responds with an insightful perspective, explaining how freedom of speech, while fundamental to a free society, also demands responsibility from the speakers. As the interview progresses, the duo shifts gears towards the topic of religion. The setting is an intimate room with soft lighting that casts long shadows on the walls, creating a contemplative atmosphere. The intensity of the conversation deepens as Owens, with an evident hint of skepticism in his voice, questions the relevance of religion in a society that appears to lean more and more towards secularism. His words hang in the air, thick with the unspoken implications of a world without faith. Barclay, positioned comfortably in his chair, listens carefully, a thoughtful expression on his face. After a brief pause that seems to stretch for an eternity, Barclay, with the weight of decades of wisdom etched into lines of his face, takes a deep breath and begins to share his perspective. He asserts that religion is not about forcing a dogmatic belief system, nor about projecting superiority. Instead, he establishes the importance of religion as a guiding star, a compass pointing towards a moral path, providing a well-structured framework for ethical living. As he speaks, his words reverberate around the room, resonating with the quiet conviction of a man who has pondered these existential questions deeply. He illustrates religion not as a mere set of rituals and mandates, but as a beacon shining through the darkness of moral ambiguities. He paints religion as the pulse that beats at the heart of humanity, strengthening bonds and illuminating paths in the most challenging times. Barclay's perspective on religion reveals it as a necessary counterbalance to the rampant materialism of our times, a vital force that reminds us of our collective purpose beyond survival. He speaks of religion as a necessary counterbalance to the materialism of our times. The conversation takes yet another intriguing turn when Owens brings up the topic of political polarization. It suddenly seems as though the room grew still, the buzz and hum of the surroundings seeming to fade away as Owens brings forth this critical issue that plagues our society. She asks in a voice that resonates with sincerity and curiosity, how can society bridge the widening political divide? The question hangs heavy in the room, a tangible challenge that begs for a solution. It is an issue that echoes in the minds of individuals everywhere, a divide that casts a long shadow over the societal landscape. It is a divide that widens with each passing day, a chasm that threatens to engulf the very essence of democracy, dialogue and understanding. Barclay's response when it arrives is profound. It is not a mere recollection of textbook idealism, but a practical answer that resonates with the depth of his understanding. His words come slow and measured, lending weight to the gravity of his statements. The need for dialogue and understanding, for these are the bridges that can unite a fragmented society. He points out that while differences of opinion are inevitable in a vibrant democracy, they should not evolve into insurmountable obstacles that challenge very idea of unity. He speaks of the strength inherent in diversity and the importance of acknowledging and respecting these differences. He elucidates with an almost eerie calmness that the exchange of ideas, the acceptance of differing perspectives, is the foundation on which societies have been built and sustained. And, as his words gradually trail off, the profundity of his statement continues to linger. He emphasizes that while differences of opinion are inevitable, they should not become barriers to unity. As they delve deeper, the dialogue starts to migrate towards the seminal role of education in our society. Owens, with a furrowed brow and a sense of urgency in her voice, articulates the reservations she holds about the present-day educational structure. She raises pertinent points about the system's apparent failure in nurturing an environment supportive of critical thinking. She emphasizes that the system seems to be more focused on rote learning than inculcating a questioning mind among the students. With a nod of agreement, Barclay echoes Owens's sentiment. He emphatically highlights the necessity of evolving beyond the simple transferal of information from teacher to student. His argument is that the primary focus of education should not be merely on knowledge acquisition, but also on developing the cognitive abilities of the learners. He believes that it is critical for educators to foster a learning environment that young minds to think independently, question fearlessly, and challenge the existing doctrines courageously. He further elaborates on the importance of teaching students how to explore various perspectives, to approach situations from different angles, and to not shy away from questioning established norms. Barclay suggests that by doing so, the education system can better prepare students for the complexities of the real world and make them more adaptable. He underscores the significance of not just filling young minds with data, but inculcating in them the ability to think, reason, and deduce. Barclay agrees, stressing the importance of not just imparting knowledge, but also teaching students how to think, question, and challenge established norms. The interview culminates with a thought-provoking dialogue on personal responsibility. As the lively conversation progresses, we are introduced to the concept of individual accountability and its profound impact on the society we live in. Owens, the seasoned interviewer, with his knack for eliciting insightful responses, pauses for a moment. He leans forward, his gaze intense, and asks a question that can stir the mind and touch the soul. What role does personal responsibility play in shaping our society? The question hangs in the air, a challenge waiting to be taken up. The room falls silent, the tension palpable as everyone anticipates the response. Barclay, the man of the hour, doesn't disappoint. He takes a moment, his brow furrowed in deep thought. Then, with a calm confidence, he begins to speak. His words are not just a reply to the question, but a profound insight into the human condition and our role within the society. Barclay talks about our choices, actions, and the ripple effect they have in the world around us. He delves into the implications of our individual actions on a larger scale, painting a vivid picture of the society we are capable of building if we shoulder our responsibilities. He speaks passionately about the need for self-awareness, for understanding that our actions do not exist in a vacuum. Barclay's response is a call to action. He urges individuals to take responsibility not only for their actions but also for the society they live in. In summary, the interview explores a myriad of topics, from freedom of speech and religion to political polarization, education, and personal responsibility. Owens and Barclay, the interviewees, delve into matters that challenge conventional perspectives and incite introspection. Their discussion is a compelling one, offering a deep dive into a range of subjects that hold contemporary relevance and evoke cogitation. The exchange of ideas is thought-provoking, taking the viewers on a journey of intellectual exploration. It highlights the gravity of dialogue in deciphering complex issues, underlining the urgency for ethical guidance in a predominantly materialistic world. It re-emphasizes the integral part personal responsibility plays in molding our society. The conversation is a testament to the power of open dialogue in dissecting and understanding multifaceted issues. With every topic touched, it asks us to ponder, introspect, and interact with our surroundings in a more conscious and educated manner. A truly enlightening discussion, It invites us to question, reflect, and engage with the world around us in a more thoughtful and informed manner.